Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we today will focus on the luggage system because we want at least have a part of our airport operational so that we can get flights in from next episode. You have already sent in a lot of good suggestions for airlines that we could sign. Keep them coming because next episode we will be starting to take a look at that. But luggage is today's focus, and if you would like to see my brain melt right in front of you, well then this is the episode for you. As always, before we get too far into today's video, if you should end up enjoying this episode, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, so as I mentioned, the main focus of today's episode is going to be the luggage system. We want to have it fully working at least for a part of Terminal 2, if not all of Terminal 2. Now, with the luggage system, there has actually been an update in the game. Most of the way the luggage is handled in the game is unchanged, but there is one crucial change, and that is to the baggage bays, which now have a limit as to how many gates you can connect to them. Now, I'm a huge fan of that because in the past you could completely overload them and you would never really know that you were doing it, other than you would have some struggles in your turnarounds. But now that you have a limit as to how many gates you can connect to one baggage bay, I mean, you already there take out a lot of potential frustrations. So yes, I am a huge fan of it. The only issue is that going into this episode, well, I didn't do my research, so I have no idea how many gates can be connected to one baggage bay. And what I also don't know is how many of the different types of gates can be connected to a baggage bay. Is there a difference? There should be, but I don't know. So we will find out during this episode. Another thing that we would like to do is actually build a full security system with the luggage. Something I haven't really done before. I've always added a few scanners, but never all of them, but we would like to do that in a proper way. And well, that's where we have our first WTF moment. Now, checking the outbound luggage for any dangerous goods is very important in the game, but what is also very important is the fact that when you sort through the luggage and you find some suspicious luggage, that you don't just straight away destroy it, because if you destroy luggage that in the end wasn't suspicious, well, the game also doesn't like that, or basically the passengers don't like that. So when you have that in mind and you are so focused on in no way destroy any luggage that shouldn't be destroyed, and you then somehow get it all twisted in your mind, well, I mean, this is what comes out of it. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously no recovery from that. But we have to soldier on, and don't worry, we will be fixing it before the end of the episode. I don't know what happened there. My brain was working in a very different way at that moment. Yeah, but anyway. As you see, we have added a lower floor here. This is where we will where we will be housing. Let's move on. Where we will be housing the lines for the inbound and outbound luggage, and well, I guess technically it's not really necessary. The game will also work without that, but I do prefer to have it look at least somewhat realistic. So then we start up connecting our baggage bays. We've added 2 so far, and what we obviously will experience is that 2 are not enough, but more on that a little bit later, because we do also have a little bit the issue that, of course, we have well, spaces at a premium. Even though our terminal building is quite large, areas that are big enough to house a baggage bay actually are quite rare. So we will have to work that out as well in today's episode. But first, we're trying to connect up these 2 baggage bays. Obviously, 1 baggage bay then also equals to 1 luggage reclaim area. And that will also give us a little bit of trouble a little bit later in this episode. We have a lot of issues in this episode, but we will also end up fixing all of them before the end of the episode. Again, the goal here is to have our luggage system operational before the end of the episode, because we want to have aircraft coming in by the next episode. There's still a lot of things to do because we still haven't tackled any of the other things we need to do, such as, for example, all the GSE and all that is connected with that. So all the service vehicles, all the staff as well. All these things still need to be tackled, but that's then for next episode. So we have a lot of things to do, but the goal remains passenger traffic from next episode. That is what we want to achieve. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to build the baggage reclaim areas, and this is actually the next area where we then encountered some issues. But firstly, what are we actually doing here? Well, basically I'm building my standard layout that I like to use for all my baggage reclaim areas, where we have 2 loops for 1 baggage reclaim area. It's very simple. You just have the line, you use the tilt trays to split up the luggage. The first tilt tray is obviously set to destination because we have a second room coming after that. Then anything that goes into the first room then goes to another tilt tray where we then set it to right and left, so it always alternates as to which loop the luggage is sent. That way we are splitting up the luggage over a little bit of a larger area, and because of these baggage reclaim areas being used by multiple flights at a time, we hopefully manage to spread out passengers waiting for the luggage a little bit more. That's at least the theory behind what I am doing with these reclaim areas, and I like the way it looks basically. So as soon as we started connecting up our gates with the 1 baggage bay we have here for our B terminals, we obviously very quickly came to the point where we couldn't connect anymore, but we still have some stands left. So obviously we need another baggage bay for our B concourse, but because we over at our B concourse are mixing small and medium stands, we of course get a little bit of a distorted number as to how many stands can be connected to a baggage bay. So I went over to our A concourse to see how it's going over there, because there we only have medium stands, and the result is 6 medium stands can be connected to 1 baggage bay. That's not bad, but of course it means we are short at least 2 baggage bays. So we need to find a space where we can construct them and then connect it up with our luggage system. But there are many more issues we also still need to fix. Boy, I really messed up this construction of our luggage system. We have our baggage reclaim areas, and right now they're outside of the security zone because there was a point in the game where they had to be, but that's not the case anymore, as I learned. So that's great, because I prefer to have them inside the security zone. Also because the only security zone exit in real life at Copenhagen Airport, at least that I know of, is in Terminal 3. So I want to have all passengers from Terminal 2 go down to their baggage reclaim area, claim their luggage, and then go over to Terminal 3 to exit the terminal or the airport. I don't know if this will actually work in the game, but that's the goal. The other thing we of course need to address here is this abomination. So obviously there's only one thing we can do here to save that, and that is simply, well, to remove all of it, because none of this has any use. It will not work. It will be a complete mess. So let's just remove it all and start over again. So obviously we just need a main line, and on this main line we then need to have all these various scanners. And whenever there's a suspicious item that goes through one of these scanners, or that is identified by one of these scanners, it goes to a separate line. And that separate line ultimately ends in a device that will destroy that luggage. It's as simple as that. I don't know why I made it so complicated. But the changes we need to do don't end there, because we also need to add at least 2 more baggage bays to the whole system. And it's not just enough with adding baggage bays and connecting them up to our lines here, but these baggage bays also need to serve a separate luggage reclaim area. We can't use these 2 because they are already connected up with their individual baggage bay. Now the issue is here that I don't really have any more space in that area, because that's all of Terminal 2. Everything to the left of that is Terminal 3, And I don't know how the game likes having baggage reclaim areas in a different terminal than where the baggage bay is. So we want to keep it all in Terminal 2. So we need to be a little bit creative, and we will have to vary a little bit from what we actually have in real life at Copenhagen Airport. Because at Copenhagen Airport, the concept is basically you're coming here from level 1, and when you want to leave the airport and reclaim your luggage, you go downstairs one level, so to ground floor. So down the stairs, ground floor level, you reclaim your luggage, you exit the terminal and the airport via the security exit in Terminal 3. But we don't have any more space to add 2 more baggage reclaim areas here in Terminal 2, so we will have to go one level further down. Now, it's obviously not ideal, because obviously it's not entirely as it works in real life at Copenhagen Airport. And I did also struggle a little bit of finding the right layout of how I could connect level 1 with level then -1 it would be, so that it still looked or had at least the feel of how it would be in real life. But ultimately I think we managed to come up with a solution here that works in the game and will work for us here as well. It's a compromise obviously, but yeah, it's unfortunately just the way it has to be, because we have run out of space. Now, ultimately, we will actually also have to create a whole separate luggage system for Terminal 3, and if we eventually build Terminal 1, we will also have to do it over there. And the game itself probably won't require us to connect these up, because there is one aspect of the game that is entirely missing, or, well, it's not missing in the game, it's just missing from reality. I've always praised this game. I think it's a lovely game, but there's one aspect that they really have not addressed in the game yet. I hope it will somehow be added before it goes out of beta, and that is interlining. Basically connecting traffic, passengers arriving and not having the airport as their final destination, but connecting up with another flight. So for example, right now we have no need of connecting a luggage system of Terminal 2 with a luggage system in Terminal 3 or 1, because there is no passenger that will arrive at one terminal and then have a flight in another terminal. That won't happen. We will, I think, still try to work out a way to connect these systems, but it will probably never be used by the game. And I think that's a shame, because obviously that's a huge aspect of real-world aviation, and it's just missing in the game. So I think that's something I really hope the game developers will add at some point. And I also still very much would like to have one-directional doors, because it would be a huge help of managing the passenger flow and having passengers go in specific directions that I want them to go. But yeah, one-directional doors, that's, I think, a very simple thing to be added into the game. The whole interconnecting thing, that's obviously maybe a bit bigger, but I really do hope that they will add it at one day. So you can see right now what I'm working on is actually already starts parts of Terminal 3, because that's where we will have the baggage reclaim area for Terminal 3 and then also the security exit. But that's obviously something for episodes way in the future. So now, while I'm connecting up our new baggage base, I think it is time to end today's episode. In the last episode, I had asked you for suggestions for airlines that we could sign, and you've already been so kind to come up with quite a few suggestions, airlines that you would like to see at the airport. Most of them also would really work here at the airport. Some of them were a little bit more creative, but I appreciate all the suggestions you have come up with so far. Keep them coming, because as I said in the beginning of the video, the goal is to have aircraft coming in the next episode. We still have much to do to reach that point, but I am confident that we can achieve that by the next episode. So keep your suggestions coming. And while I'm now signing our first staff here to the airport, I would like to say thank you so much for having watched today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.
Hay que hacer paura con los dos sacos de arroz.